Perfect. Just going to refresh the page. All right, cool. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chit Geek Out. I'm your host, Steven, and today on the show, we are joined by actor Billy Gallo. You guys may know Billy from movies such as Pretty Woman, Night of the Demons, Crash, and television series such as Married with Children, Who's the Boss, and many countless ones. He's worked on a bunch of television shows, and I'm thrilled to have him on here today. Welcome, Billy Gallo, to the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Now, everyone that's watching too, this is a rarity. Billy actually doesn't. This is his first podcast, kind of visual video call interview. Like, he doesn't do many of these, so this is a rarity. So if you guys have any questions at all for Billy, let me know. You can put them in the live chat that's open here. But we're gonna go ahead and get right into this interview. I want to know what have you been up to lately? I know you've been doing. You're a teacher and a coach right now. You have your own acting studio called Manhattan Actor Studio, and you have a 30-day self-tape challenge going on. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. About 6 years ago, I opened up my own school, the Manhattan Actor Studio in Manhattan Beach, California. I found my true passion, which is teaching the craft of acting, but not only teaching the craft, but also being a guide. You know, I know for me, when I came out to Hollywood when I was 18 with $200 in my pocket and a one-way ticket, you know, I didn't know a soul out here, and I didn't know, what to do, but I just had the dream. So I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I've been blessed. I've been living the dream, and my goal is to be able to help other actors achieve their dream faster. They don't have to make the mistakes that I made along the way. To teach them not only the craft, but also it's show business. To teach them the business end of it, so they can succeed. And the 30-day self-tape challenge came out of this coronavirus. I know there's a lot of actors that are sitting at home not knowing what to do. I mean, the business is pretty much shut down. And it's, for me, this is a time to get stronger. This is not a time to lay down and just binge watch Netflix and get soft. This is a time to truly, work on your craft, to read scripts, to work on whatever, an accent, to write. So I have a lot of actors that are having some financial problems because some of them are waiters and bartenders and trainers.
For sure.
And it's a tough time for everybody, but that doesn't mean you can't continue to work on your craft. So I created a free 30-day self-tape challenge for actors. And what it is you have to put yourself on tape and work on your craft for 30 days straight. So when you come out and when this virus ends and everybody comes out of it, you're going to be the strong one. You're the one that's going to be working on your craft. When the floodgates open, there's going to be a lot of work because there's going to be a backlog of work. And I want my actors to be the most prepared, and they're doing an awesome job. It's a lot of fun watching them, and it's not just about putting yourself on tape in front of a curtain. I have my actors, think about background, think about wardrobe, think about the character, props. For me, the future of casting is self-tapes. There's going to be no more walking into an audition, especially with everything that's going on. People are going to realize that, I can do a producer session, a director session via Zoom. Why would I drive 2 hours to go to a callback? I can meet with an actor right here. So I'm just training my actors so when this all opens up, they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And actually, it's like now too, I'm trying. Sorry, what was that?
I said, thank you.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say too, right now is the best time to be doing, letting all your creative juices flow. And, right now I'm trying to do more script writing, screenplays and all that stuff. I'm actually in pre-production of my first horror short film that's supposed to get shot in August or September. So that's been definitely an eye opener. I've been making a lot of contacts and meeting great, amazing people in the industry. So that should be fun. But most definitely people should definitely start getting their creative juices flowing and, stay creative. Start, as I said, do self-tape edition tapes and all that stuff for actors. And, for screenwriters, just keep writing stories and all that fun stuff. Now for upcoming projects, you have a new podcast coming out called Hollywood Dreammaker. Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's actually coming out tomorrow.
Well, the thing is, it came out of the virus. I mean, I truly believe that, you know, I know for me in my life, when things were tough, you know, I've had some, stuff happen in my life, and in those tough, I had to deal with cancer in my family and a lot of tough stuff. But when I was going through that crap, I used that as fertilizer to plant the seeds of the Manhattan Actor Studio, and a beautiful thing came out of it. I get to touch people's lives on a daily basis. Every day, an actor knocks on my door with a dream, and I get to help make it a reality. And I've always wanted to do a podcast, to be able to use my resources and help other actors, but it's always been on a back burner because my schedule's been booked solid. I have a waiting list to study with me, and then all of a sudden it opened up, and I had some free time on my hands. So I said, this is the time. The time is now, and I created the podcast. And the podcast is basically for actors that have a dream, that I'm living proof that your past doesn't equal your future. It doesn't matter where you come from, what's happened to you in the past. If you have this dream in your heart, then you go after it, and you go after it with a vengeance, and you go get that. I'm living proof that it can happen. There's no reason that this kid from Brooklyn, New York, from a broken home, that was kind of running around the streets when he was 16, 17, kind of running in the wrong circles, you know turned my life around. I said, I'm going to do this acting thing, and I went after it, and the rest is history. I've been blessed. So, the Hollywood Dreammaker podcast is just a place where I can give actors golden nuggets to help them get to where they want to go faster. And I have some great guests coming on. I have an Academy Award winning writer. I have a couple of big time actors already on my schedule. I have producers, directors, casting directors. The goal is to bring my contacts to you, the aspiring actors. So, I get kids all the time ask me, they want to be a stuntman. Well, that's not my forte, but I do know a
Right.
lot of stunt guys in the business. One of my best friends is a big time Hollywood stunt coordinator. And, I usually reach out to him and say, hey, can you help this young act? He wants to do stunts. So I just did an interview with him, and the stuff he was dropping was gold. About how to get into the stunt business. So that's my goal, is just to bring as much wisdom and knowledge I can bring to young aspiring actors.
That's a great idea. I love the concept, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. And that will be coming out tomorrow. Do you know what time it will be premiering and releasing at?
I have no idea, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you know. I know it's tomorrow. It's going to be on a podcast player near you. Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones.
Perfect. Everyone make sure I left all the links so you guys can go check out what Billy Gallo's up to. All the social medias down below and his website as well, to keep updated on what he's up to. We have some people
Yeah,
watching the
please,
show.
rate, subscribe, all that stuff,
Oh
that'd be
yeah.
great.
Someone said in the chat that they actually met you at Darkside and Riverside back in October. And they were
Oh,
saying, yeah,
cool.
you're a really nice guy. And so a fan from Night of the Demons is in the chat. Mr. Meathook is his name, Daryl.
Mr. Meat. I love horror fans. That's great.
um,
I never really did conventions. I just, I'm a private kind of guy, and I never did interviews and stuff like that. But recently I've done a couple of them, and they were a lot of fun. It's like a family reunion to get together with
yeah,
the cast. Riverside was awesome. We were all there.
yeah.
So it's meeting fans is awesome.
Riverside was the one where you guys had the big reunion of all the cast members. You
Yeah.
said that's awesome. Well, hopefully you do more shows. Do you have any convention appearances in the works? I know that a lot of them got postponed, but did you have any plans to this year?
I've been invited to a couple. It's just, it's time. I've been so busy. I have so much on my plate. So, for me, I have a full schedule here at the studio. For me to leave my school for 3 days, it's just me here. I teach, and I
Oh,
run the place. So if I disappear, then I have a lot of actors that are going, "Hey, where'd you go?" So, but
exactly.
yeah, if it works out on my schedule, I'd love to do it again.
Perfect. Awesome. Now you were talking a little bit about how you've been doing film for a while and now you're teaching people. When you got your start, how much did you get your start? Because I know you were started and you were an extra on a film that they were shooting close by to you when you were younger, and you were also you were in Greece, like the live performance on stage. How about did you start acting in the actual film industry, and how did you get your first gig?
Okay, so yeah, when I was 11, they were filming a movie in my neighborhood. I was a little kid. I was running, down the street.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
the cameras, the trucks, all that stuff, and I got a little part as background extra in the film. And I remember there was a kid that had a lead in it, and he looked just like me, but he wasn't there the day I showed up to the set, so everybody thought I was him. So they gave me the star treatment.
That's
They
funny.
gave me my own chair. They powdered my nose, and I was like, this is pretty good. I didn't let them know. Well, I wasn't him. I played along. Uh, and that's when I kind of got bit by the bug. A year later, they were filming Saturday Night Fever in my neighborhood, and I watched John Travolta, come out of his trailer and all the girls screaming and all that. And I was like, there's something there. I want, I think I want to do that. And
That's
then,
awesome.
like I was saying, like when I was in my teens, I was kind of running in the wrong circles, and I was kind of a bit of, I knew I wanted to be an actor, and I remember my guidance counselor, I was a bit of a truant, and my guidance counselor scooped me up, and she said, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I want to be an actor. And she said, well, you should go down to see the drama coach down in the lunchroom. They're doing a play. And I did. And I got cast in Greece. And the first time I stepped on that stage, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I was hooked. And then after that, I started, studying at Lee Strasberg in New York City. And I did my first play at the Actors Studio. And, 16, 17, 18, I was just really working on my craft, getting ready.
Wow.
And then when I turned 18, I was at a racetrack. I won a couple $100. My friend said, what are you going to do with the money? I said, I'm going to Hollywood. I packed my bag, and, I didn't know anybody. And I knew I ran out of money real fast. And I knew I had to find an agent. So I got a list of agents from the Screen Actors Guild. And, back in the day, there were no cell phones or
Yeah.
GPS. So I got this map, that was like this big,
Yeah,
it's
the
called a Thomas
full length.
Guide. You have to go, it had a grid, and I literally went down the list of agents, and I walked door to door in Hollywood, banging on doors saying, hey, I've arrived, and the door would get slammed in my face. And I went down the list. I went through the A's, the B's, the C's, doors slamming in my face. And I finally found an agent at Bob Yenez Talent Agency. And, I could have stopped at C or D, but I just kept knocking on that door, because failure was not an option for me. There's an old
Oh
saying
yeah.
that if you want to take the island, you better burn the boat. Well, I didn't have a boat. There was no boat back, so I was not going to stop knocking, and I did. I found an agent who, was a small agency that was willing to take me on, and he got me my first audition. And here's a funny story: is when I was back in Brooklyn, I was 17, and I was dreaming about being an actor. And I remember sitting in my living room, and I was watching a TV show called The Fall Guy, and it was about Hollywood, and it was about stuntmen, and they would have be making a movie, and they'd do the stunts and stuff like that. And I remember sitting on my couch watching this TV show, going, "That's what I want to do. I want to do that." So when I got out to Hollywood, and that agent got me my first audition, well, guess what it was for? It was for that TV show, The Fall Guy. And they were
Oh,
looking for a kid. They were looking for a kid named Billy, who was like the leader of a gang who was bullying kids to deal drugs. And I remember I walked into the audition, and there were all these guys with leather jackets, trying to look like tough guys. And literally, I was like right off the streets of Brooklyn. And I had a diamond
yeah.
pinky ring that said Billy, and the character's name was Billy. So I walked over
Wow.
to each of the actors, and I put my fist in their face with the pinky ring. I said, "What does that say?" "Billy, that's me. You can go home." And I told all the actors to go home, because Billy had arrived. And then I went into the audition, and the scene was I was threatening this kid. I was telling him, "Let me tell you something about me. I'm either going to be your friend or your enemy. So it's up to you." And so I didn't know any better. I grabbed the casting director out of the chair, and I started, threatening her and spewing saliva. And she went, "Time out." She goes, "Time out." She goes, "Number one." She goes, "Never, ever, 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 ever put your hands on the casting director ever again. I'm sorry. It's my first audition." She goes, "Number two." She goes, "You're not leaving town, are you?" I go, "No, why?" She goes, "Because you got the part." She goes, "But you can't tell the other actors out in the lobby, because I got to read them out of courtesy." And I said, yeah, okay. Yeah. And I walked out into the lobby. I said, go home. She told me I got the job.
Wow.
So you never want to do any of that. You never want to put your hands on a casting director. You never want to threaten the other, but I was straight out of Brooklyn. I didn't know any better,
Yeah.
but I got, I got the part. It got me my SAG card, and I was on that set, like that set that I was watching that TV show, dreaming I
Hmm.
want to do that. All of a sudden, it's like I jumped into my television. I was on that set with Heather Thomas and Lee Majors and the actors, and it was like I
Wow.
had to pinch myself. I was like, I'm here. I've arrived. I did it. I
That's
jumped
awesome.
into the TV set. So you know the moral to the story is this is very powerful. This little thing here, this mind, and if you put that seed into your brain and you visualize and you see it, I saw myself doing it. You know, and I took massive action, jumping on a plane with $200 in my pocket, not knowing a soul, to make that dream a reality.
Right.
So, envision it, see it. I'm a big believer in vision boards. If you want to see yourself with an Oscar, well, to cut a picture of you and an Oscar, or you want to see yourself working with an actor, you know, Brad Pitt, or put you and Brad Pitt in a picture and put it on a vision board in front of you and really see it and every day go after it like you mean it and you can make it a reality.
Wow. Very inspiring. And sorry,
Thank
how
you.
old were you again when you went to Hollywood?
I was 18. I had just turned 18.
Wow. That's amazing. Um,
Yeah, I also had a broken leg that I wanted to come out so bad. I had a cast. I took my cast off, so little I was limping around Hollywood with a duffel bag,
oh
you
my
know,
God.
trying to figure out my way around. I remember when I showed up, I was like, "This is," because I had seen Hollywood in the movies,
Right.
and it was. Then I showed up to Hollywood and Vine, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is just like New York City." It was like,
It's
it
much
was,
different.
well, it's much different. I mean, we're talking, it was 1985 or 84. I came out December 15th, 1985, 84.
Hmm.
So I remember I surely, and then it rained for 2 weeks straight, and there was that stupid song, It Never Rains in Southern California. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was pouring rain for 2 weeks
Wow.
straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to California last year in February. Or wait, it was actually made it might have been 2 Februarys ago. I think it was actually in 2018 I went. But definitely definitely different than what you see in the movies. That's for sure. But it was still it's dreamland for any movie lover. I mean, I love filming. I love visiting filming locations and studios, and going to backlots. That was like a dream for me because I've been wanting to do that for so long. But that's awesome just to hear stories from how it was, back in the day. Um,
Well, back in the day, yeah, I'll tell you a quick little story. When I first came out here, I really, I hustled, like I would go to the studios and I try to get in, and the guard at the gate would tell me, "Sorry, kid, you can't come in." Well, I'd walk around the block, I'd climb the fence, with the barbed wire and everything, and I'd land into the lot, and then I'd be walking up New York City streets, and they'd be filming a movie, and I'd make friends with the actors, and they didn't know I just jumped the lot. You can't do
right.
that anymore. But I wasn't going to take no for an answer. When I
Yeah.
came out here, I became my own agent. Agent. I used to find out this thing called the breakdowns, where they give all the roles that were, casting, and well, I found out they drop them off in front of an agent's office. So I'd go and I'd take them, and I'd make a copy of them, and then I put them back, and then I'd sit at Denny's, and I be my own. I created my own manager. My name was Bill Brook, for Brooklyn, and I
Hmm.
would say, "This is hi, this is Bill Brook. I represent." I try to get myself in the door. So I was playing the part of the manager too.
That's funny. Wow. And you worked on many different films and many different television series. Do you prefer one over the other? Because I know they're both different environments.
That's a tough one. I love doing sitcoms. It was, in front of a live audience, and I've been blessed. I've worked with some amazing casts, some legends in comedy.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like we did it as a play. We rehearsed it all week, and then we the show, two shows in front of a live audience, and we ran it just like a play, and it was a live audience. So it was you'd have to hold for laughs, and I really enjoyed that. It was a easy job. It was a fun job. Um, so yeah, I would say doing a half hour sitcom, was the most fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I also enjoy films. They're just two different animals.
Oh
Films, you're
yeah.
working long hours. When I was doing Who's the Boss, I mean, we go and work for a few hours here and there. It was like, then we go play golf. We rehearse and then we go play. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone was asking on Instagram on how it was working with Married with Children. I actually want to know that as well.
Married with Children was great. There's great casts. Christina Aguilera, Ed O'Neill, Kitty Segal, David Faustino. Christina, and one of my first acting jobs, I worked with Christina was a TV show called Cold Steel and Neon. This is like when I first came out here. I booked a little part on that TV show. So I had met her way back when she was just a little girl.
Oh wow.
And then in 19, well, when I had my own TV series, we were doing a lot of promotional stuff because when I arrived to Hollywood, there was ABC, NBC, and CBS. That was it. Those were the networks, and I was blessed to be part of the new Fox network, and
Right.
we did a lot of promotional stuff together. And she was doing Married with Children, and I was doing my series Boys Will Be Boys. So we knew each other from there. But then I got to work with her, on Married with Children, and it was just a lot of fun. That was a crazy set. They were just
I can
it
imagine.
was it was it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. And now you also worked with Matthew Perry at the beginning of his career when you guys were on Boys Will Be
Yeah.
Boys. How was that?
Sure. Matt was great. We had a lot of fun together. I mean, you could think about it. I had my own TV series.
Yeah.
I played like the Fonz. Like I'd go like this, and the girls would come running. So yeah, being young and having your own TV series, and we had a lot of fun. Just young. I didn't realize. You know, you gotta really kind of treasure those moments. Sometimes
Oh,
you're just
most
kind of
definitely.
wrapped up, and it's like you gotta savor it.
Yeah.
A lot of times it was just kind of work. Oh, I didn't really take time to really go look at this. Look what you did. You accomplished it. You got your own TV series. I mean, like, how did you go from that to that? So, but to answer your question, yeah, Matt was great. We had a lot of fun together.
That's great. And now, obviously, do you have any kind of role models or like people, actors, or certain characters that you adored on TV and wanted to that kind of inspired you as an actor?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Brando. I mean, I grew up, I'm old, so I grew up during the 70s and, some of the, Pacino, De Niro, some of the early movies and, they were my idols.
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to be just like them, and I've been blessed. I mean, I've got to work with De Niro. I screen tested for Awakenings, which was a magical moment for me.
Wow.
And I've met Pacino, and it's just those people that I grew up idolizing. Being in the business, I've gotten to rub shoulders with them, and it's pretty awesome. Sometimes I got to pick. When I was taking a selfie with Al Pacino, and I was like,
This really happening.
this is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I grew up watching. Like Rocky. Rocky was very inspirational for me as a
Oh yeah.
young kid. The Rocky kind of changed my life. I started working out and started, I ate a tiger, and I remember when I was doing Who's the Boss. Like I said, we'd do a run through, and then we'd go play golf. And I remember Tony Danza and I were playing golf, and Sylvester Stallone joined us. So here I am playing golf, with Rocky and Tony Danza. I grew up watching him on
Wow.
who's Taxi, Tony
Yeah.
Danza,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was just surreal. This is what I wanted to do. I remember watching him on that show, going, "Look at that guy. He's from Brooklyn. If he could do it, I can do it." and you know, it was, yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I
Wow.
go, wow, how did I pull that one off?
You're
You
right.
know.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Now, one of my personal favorites that you've done, and you obviously get a lot of people asking you about, is Night of the Demons. You go to horror conventions now in honor of this movie. I actually have a poster up here. But can you tell us a little bit about how it was working on that film set and any stories that really stick out to you and you remember all the time?
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you think? I was 21, 20, and I'm starring in a film with, like, some beautiful women, Amelia and Suzanne Linnea and Kathy Podwell, Allison Barrel, and Jill Teresita. I mean, we were all young, and it was a party. It was called Halloween Party. So, showing up to the set, it was just a lot of fun. We had some great laughs. We had some great scares. We were living pretty much in this house, the whole house.
Yeah.
That was the not only was it the location, but our dressing rooms were on the second floor. So
Oh
the
wow.
whole house was being used for filming. So when you'd walk down the hallway to get to your dressing room, it was all scary. There were spider webs, and there was, it was just the art department did an amazing job. And
Wow.
then, imagine walking out of your dressing room and running into, you know, Lance Fenton with his eyeballs,
Yeah.
missing, coming down. We shared a dressing room. He was right next door to me, and it was like, or Hal, or the burn makeup after this amazing makeup.
Oh
They
yeah.
were,
Steve
there was a
Johnson.
lot of pranks. There was a lot. Steve was amazing. The makeup was truly mind blowing. I mean, when you saw it up close and
Oh yeah.
personal, it was like, wow. Uh, we
Oh, I think he froze. Hold on, guys. Hopefully it'll reconnect.
Sorry
Uh,
about
it's
that. I
okay.
got a call.
It's okay. No worries. You were saying? Sorry.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you.
Sorry.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can't hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No? Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on.
I can't hear you.
Hold on. Rejoin the chat with the link. Hold on, I'll email. Hold on.
Uh,
With
Hello.
Can you hear me? No?
I
Check.
can now.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes.
God.
I can.
I
Yeah.
tried.
So
All right. Well, it works now. Sorry about
so
that.
my video is my video frozen because it's frozen on my side.
No, you're good. I can see you fine.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry, you were saying
Yeah,
about
so
Night
it's,
of the Demons.
I got a call.
That's okay, no worries. You were saying though about Night of the Demons. Did you guys film the exteriors and interiors at the same place?
Yeah, everything was shot right in that little compound. It was a little house, downtown, and it was a really cool house. And the art department, just exterior, interior, the whole place was just scary. Um, yeah, I remember I was sitting outside smoking a cigarette at the time, and it was night and it was dark, and I was out there alone, and this little old lady walked by me, and she stopped and she looked over at me and she said, "Get out."
That's
And
creepy.
I was like, get the, you know, and then,
Wow.
and then this big ass like Black Widow spider was like coming down on me. It was like, a double whammy.
Oh God.
Oh,
That.
I think my headsets are dying.
Oh no. I was gonna say too. The house is actually demolished now. Obviously, it's actually I think a supermarket right now. Like it's the parking lot now of a supermarket where that house stood, which is pretty interesting. But it's a
Yeah.
shame that it got demolished. It would have been a cool location to visit. Um, Now, who is one of your favorite characters, or who is your favorite character that you played on screen? And what is your highlight of your career?
Favorite character I've played on screen. I don't know. I love them all. They're all part of me. I think the character that I'm doing right now has been my favorite. It's been the most challenging for me. I have a 1 hour drama, police drama that I wrote, and it's a true story. It's based on an elite unit within the New York City Police Department. And I play a sergeant in the New York City Police Department that's tracking a serial killer who's killing elderly women. And I had to become an elderly woman, so I had to do the prosthetics and
Yes.
really become her. And that was really, I wrote it and I'm producing it and directing it. So it's a passion project. So I would say that character has been the most fun because it's truly, I developed it and I created her and how she walks and how she talks and how she looks. And you know, to become an elderly woman is, it's there's some work involved.
Oh yeah.
But that's been the most challenging for me.
Hmm. I saw the
Um,
pictures online. The special effects makeup they put on for you for that part looked amazing.
yeah, so I'm producing this myself, and a funny story is I was looking to become an elderly woman, but to do a head mold and the prosthetics, and people tell me like 10 grand to do it, and I was like, yeah, no, I got to find somebody that's going to be able to do this. And I
Hmm.
remember I was sitting home, and I was with my son. We were watching this TV show called Face Off. It's about makeup artists,
Oh, I love that
kind of
show.
face. Yeah, and we're sitting there, and it's like the finals, and it just shows this very talented makeup artist, Chris Corbzina, and it said El Segundo, California, and I was like, what? Like, that's literally down the street from me. That's like 5 minutes away, and I'm like,
Wow.
huh. So I reached out to him, and I introduced myself, and he happened to be a Night of the Demons fan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was awesome. He did it for pretty much nothing. It was great to collaborate with him and create her.
Wow, that's
So yeah,
great. That's awesome.
yeah. Favorite role, favorite movie. I think the most favorite movie that I made was Pretty Woman because originally it was called 3000 and it was a much darker film about drugs and prostitution, and this is before they made it the Cinderella version.
Right.
And my character was one of the leads in the film. And we shot on Hollywood Boulevard. The streets were closed off.
Wow.
I had the scene where the reason why Julia Roberts gets into Richard Gere's car, in the first place is because I'm chasing her. I'm coming across the street from the Hollywood Wax Museum, pretty much threatening her. So she gets into the car and drives away. So, being that big Hollywood Boulevard, closed off streets, thousands of people watching, just being, in that was a lot of fun
That's
for me,
yeah.
memorable.
Oh yeah. That sounds amazing. Um, Now, do you have a certain genre of film and television that you like doing, like more than others? Because it feels like you do a lot of action films and drama.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to direct a film that I wrote, and it's a gangster kind of Goodfellas, Bronx Tale-ish. Um, I grew up watching all those films, those Scorsese films. So, I would say that that's one of my favorite genres is a combination because I do like, those Rudies and the Rockies. So that's what the
Right.
film that I'm creating now is a little Rudy, Rocky, little Bronx Tale. It's got a little, I mean, it's my life story. It's how I came, it's about a kid with a dream that has to go through a lot of shit to get along the, to get to where he's got to
Wow.
go. And, there was a period in my life, when I was 16, when I was kind of running in the wrong circles. And, it was one event, an idol, somebody that I looked up to. I saw him get shot in the head in front of me,
Wow.
and it literally changed my life. It was like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. I'm going to do something else. And it's how it shifted. But, there was a little period there that was, very action packed, very, running on the streets of Brooklyn and back in the day, so there was a lot
Yeah.
of lot of action. You can't make this shit up, my
No.
childhood. So
No.
it's
No.
got to become a film.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
that's why I'm
And
writing it.
is there any information as regards to that? Like, what this title of that film will be called?
Right now, it's untitled. I'm not sure what the title's going to be.
Oh, and sorry, did you do the screenplay as well? You said you did
Yes,
the
yeah, I'm writing
screenplay.
it
Are you
now.
going to be directing and producing it?
I am, yes. My
Awesome.
production company, and I am going to direct it.
Awesome. I actually want to talk about being a producer because you have your own production company called Brooklyn Bridge Productions. Can you tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about that and how you started that out?
Well, I've been blessed as an actor. I've, if you look at my resume, I've done a lot of awesome stuff. But I got tired of running around Hollywood doing roles that, I was doing them for the money, and they
Hmm.
weren't. I had been there, done that before, and I decided that I want to create my own projects.
Right.
I want to shift the desk. I don't want to be on the other side of the desk going, can I get a job? I want to be the guy hiring people and going, hey, you want to work for me?
Oh yeah.
I always dreamed about going back to New York. I was bit by the bug when I was 11 when they were making that movie. So a dream for me was always to be able to go back to Brooklyn and be that for some other kid,
Right.
And I did that. I did that when I went to New York in 2000. I produced a film called Kings of Brooklyn. When I went there, I shot back in my own neighborhood, and it was awesome. It was like a dream come true again. So
Wow.
once again, anything you want to achieve, if you go after it like you mean it, it's possible.
Oh, for sure. That's awesome, though. It's nothing wrong with shifting pathways in that same area of work. I mean, change is always good. Sometimes sticking to the one thing, kind of, you want to try something different here and there.
Well,
We're gonna go.
here's what I realized. What I realized is, I had my ladder on one wall, and that ladder would never bring me happiness.
Right.
It was literally on the wrong wall. So now, what really lights me up is being of service, is to be
Hmm.
able to make a difference. And when one of my actors calls me up and says, "Hey, I got that part, or I got my SAG card, or I got that thing,"
Oh yeah.
that really truly lights me up. Because it's not about me. My early career
Hmm.
was about me, 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 me. Now is how can I be of service? How can I make a difference in somebody else's life?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that must feel great because yeah, you're helping so many people out that are starting out and getting parts in films. That's awesome. I love how you. I like because I know other people that do that as well. They've had their time in the industry, acting and all that stuff, and now they're sharing their skills and with other people that are trying to get into it. I think that's great that people like you are doing that for people that are starting out in the industry. Now, do you have any hobbies and interests outside the film industry that you like doing on your spare time?
Well, I'm a daddy, so I have a 12-year-old son, pretty amazing. So I'm his football coach, I'm his soccer coach. We do a lot of stuff, boxing together and working out together. So, that's a full-time job being dad. That for me, that's the greatest role I've ever gotten to play
That's
is
awesome.
father.
That's great. We're gonna do a couple fan questions, and we're gonna end it off here. We have
Okay, so just so you know, I'm losing audio a little bit. I may lose you.
okay, no worries. Would it work on your phone like without the if it dies? It should
I
work.
believe so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it should be fine. We'll try to hurry. We'll try. Let's do questions here. We'll try to hurry it up. Um, Someone asked on Instagram. She has a 10-year-old daughter, and she wants to break into acting. They live in Ohio, and there's not a lot of reputable acting schools in their area. What advice would you give them, as a parent, to help her daughter accomplish her goal?
So 10 is young. You know, I work with young actors. I work with young actors when they're serious. I mean, I have 10-year-olds that are working with Steven Spielberg right now,
Wow.
So it's really the maturity level. It's always good to get them into like little theater stuff and, have them jump around and play, just to get a feel for what it's like to be on stage and being, I don't know if the kids got singing abilities or dancing abilities to do musicals and, fun stuff like that to build a foundation. I do work with young actors if they're serious. Especially now with via Zoom, I'm doing a lot of privates with young aspiring kids. I work with kids all the time, but only if they're serious. If they're truly serious, if they're a child serious about this, then she should reach out to me. I could help her.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then our last question here is in the live chat here, and it's Night of the Demons related. It's the same guy who told you before, Mr. Meat Hook. He met you at what was it, Darkside and Riverside. He asked when he met you, you showed him a script that Angel bit off Sal's finger. Was that ever filmed, or was that written out in a later version of the script?
Okay, so in the original script, it was called Halloween Party. It was a different script. There was stuff. Like originally, I was supposed to get possessed. I was supposed to have all that full makeup stuff, but when they did the head mold back in the day on me, and I was, what, 20 or whatever, and they put a cast on my head. I was like, get this shit. I couldn't breathe. I got claustrophobic. I was take it off. So I literally said, I no. So they shifted things around because I was like not doing a head mold.
Yeah.
And now 20, 30 years later, I had to do a head mold for this, uh, you know, to play the old lady. And that was a challenge, I mean, good thing I've learned how to meditate and breathe and kind of, because if you're claustrophobic, it's no fun. You pretty much have a cast on your head,
Yeah.
and back in the day, Steve Johnson would stick a straw up your nose. That was the only way to breathe. And then, the stuff would close off a nostril, and then you can't hear, you can't see, you can't, I mean, it's like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, that does sound scary. It sounds very
So,
unpleasant.
so yeah, I mean, I think none of that, the finger getting bit off wasn't filmed. Things were changed. There were rewrites that happened.
Mhm.
Originally, I believe in one versions, I got my arm ripped off, and then it went to who gets his arm ripped off in the coffin. I'm drawing a blank. Phil Tanzini.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot
So
his name and the
one of the
character name.
yeah. So one of the early versions, I believe I got my arm ripped off. So yeah,
Wow.
there was a lot of changes in the script.
Oh yeah, and that's
Yeah, I'm
really
gonna give you a
common.
treat, man. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna take you for a little tour of my studio.
All right. I'll put you on
Okay.
full screen.
Okay. So let's see. All right. I don't know if you could see this, but behind me here. Oh, hold on. Let me get my finger out of the way. This here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This is my original wardrobe from Night of the Demons. All right.
Wow.
This is the stake that went through my heart. This is
Wow.
my bloody jean jacket. This is all the original wardrobe. You're not allowed to keep your wardrobe, but I kept it anyway.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's the original um, wardrobe.
Wow.
And I'll give you a little tour of my studio. This is my original wardrobe from my TV series, Boys Will Be Boys.
Wow.
Let's see if you come into my office a little bit. I don't know if you could see. Can you see? I don't know if you could see. These are some of my movie posters of
Oh
films that
yeah.
I've done. This is my original wardrobe from Who's the Boss?
Mm-hmm.
I even have my wardrobe from Greece when I was 16, my leather jacket.
Wow.
I don't know if you could see that.
Those are really nice displays. You make them yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, this is my face to my little old lady.
Oh wow.
This is a wardrobe from a film I did called Strike One. Yeah, I keep, this is my hat from a film I did called Fool's Gold. That's me when I was 11. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking. The film was called. I don't know if you could see this. The film was called Nunzio. When I was looking for this poster, I found this lobby card. Back in the day, they used to use lobby cards, and they put them in the lobby of the theater, and that's me in the background.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see. That's
Awesome.
kid in the back. That's how I got bit by the bug. When
Wow.
I came out to Hollywood, and I told all my friends that I was gonna, be an actor, and yeah, sure you are, right? But then I came out, I had a billboard for Cherry Coca-Cola that was in my neighborhood all over the place.
Oh
So my friends would be
wow.
walking down the street, and all of a sudden they'd be seeing my face plastered all over the walls.
Wow.
Let's see. I don't know if you can see any of this.
I'm glad you're
This
sharing all this.
here
This is a
is
rarity.
this is a film that I did called The Nail right here. And I die in the film. I get a nail punched through my heart. That's my
Oh,
my nail. Yeah.
so
Can you see? I
cool.
don't know if you can see. Can you see any of this?
Yeah, I can see it fine. You're on full screen right now.
All right, cool. This is when I came out to Hollywood and I wanted to be an actor, and I got here and I told the cab driver, I said, take me to Universal Studios, because that movie was Universal. And I was thinking, I don't know, they were going to remember me or something like that. And when I get there, it's just a big building. It's pouring rain. This is before any city walk or any of that stuff.
Right.
So I was walking down the street, and I knew I had to find a place to sleep. So I found the Universal Motel, and that's my key
Wow.
to the Universal Motel. Let's see. This is that film that I was telling you about, Kings of
Yep.
Brooklyn. I don't know if you could see.
Great poster.
Yeah, this is my studio.
That's amazing.
This is where the magic happens.
Wow. So amazing. Thanks for giving us that tour. That was definitely a rarity for all of us fans.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I covered all my questions, so I thank you so much for answering all of them, and as well as answering fan questions as well. And I want to thank you as well for taking the time to be on the show today. It's been really fun, and I know you don't do these often. This is actually your first time, you said. So it's a rarity. So everyone that's watching, this has been really fun, and I wish you all the best with your newest projects and your podcast that's coming out tomorrow. Look forward to checking that out. And everyone can go check out Billy Gallo. All the links to his website and his social medias are down below. And make sure to check out his podcast that is dropping tomorrow. But before we go, Bill, I'm just going to get you to do a plug for the show. Simply just state your name and say you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
Hey, this is Billy Gallo, and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
That was perfect. Thank you very much, Bill. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll keep in touch. And I wish you nothing but the best, and stay healthy during this time, and wishing all the best for you and your family.
Same to you, Steven. Stay healthy, stay safe. Go for your dreams. I'm proud of you, man. You're doing it. So
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Take care.